On Saturday, October the 20th, 2018, Mr. Willem Kok, who was usually known as Wim Kok, a retired Dutch politician and a former Prime Minister of the Netherlands, passed away of natural causes, with his family surrounding him at the age of 80. He died in Amsterdam, the better known of the two Dutch capitals, the political one being The Hague. He had been born in September 1938 in Bergam-Bacht, Netherlands. He served as Prime Minister from 1994 to 2002, leading a so-called red-purple government of the Social Democratic Dutch Labour Party and the two Dutch liberal parties, People's Party for Freedom and Democracy and Democrats of 66. Already in December 2001, he had announced that he would retire from national politics and had resigned as the Labour Party's leader. However, he remained as a caretaker Prime Minister of the Netherlands until July 2002. After resigning as the Dutch Prime Minister, he became a lobbyist for the European Union and presided over several high-level groups, occupying numerous seats on supervisory boards in the business and industries, and several international non-governmental organizations. As a politician, he was known for his abilities as a manager and negotiator. During his 2 terms as Prime Minister, the Netherlands enacted several social reforms, legalizing same-sex marriage and euthanasia, stimulating the economy for more employment and privatization, and further reducing the deficit. In April 2003, he was granted the honorary title of Minister of State. He was born to a rather humble family. His father was a carpenter. He has one younger brother, born in 1945. After completing his studies in business at the Nyenrode Business Universiteit, he started his career in 1961 at the Socialist Netherlands Association of Trade Unions, which he led from 1973 to 1982. He then served as the merged Federatie Nederlandse Vakbeweging until 1986. Then he was a candidate of the Labour Party for the Dutch House of Representatives, or Tweede Kamer, meaning second chamber, and won a seat. He became the Labour Party's leader in the same year, and the parliamentary leader as well. In 1989, the Labour Party entered a coalition government with the Christian Democrats, and he became the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. In the 1994 Dutch general election, there were some major changes in terms of the distribution of seats. The largest party until that time, the Christian Democrats, lost 20 seats. The Labour Party lost 12 seats, but was able to get 3 seats more than the Christian Democrats. The two liberal parties gained at the expense of these two major parties, the People's Party for Freedom and Democracy gaining 9 seats, and the Democrats of 66 doubling its seats from 12 to 24. And therefore he decided to form a social liberal coalition government with the two liberal parties. It was considered groundbreaking in Dutch politics because it was the first Dutch cabinet at the national level in 1908 without a Christian Democratic Party. The Dutch economy at the time had been in a deep recession for years. Despite the fact that he was officially a social democrat, Prime Minister Kok allowed the market to influence the economy more. He cut taxes, saved expenses, and tried to keep people out of social care by supporting employment. Large infrastructure projects were also started. Another goal was to put an end to the enormous debt of the Dutch government. In the 1998 Dutch parliamentary elections, the coalition kept its majority, and the Labour Party gained 8 seats. Then the last months of the second Kok government were marked by growing protests at the towards the mainstream Dutch political parties, led by the socialist turned writer and politician Mr. Pim Fortuyn, who was tragically assassinated on June the 6th, 2002, just 9 days before the elections. It is very possible that his party, the Pim Fortuyn list, gained many sympathy votes, and indeed, with about 15% of the total vote, became a member of the ruling coalition of Christian Democrats, People's Party for Freedom and Democracy, and the Pim Fortuyn list. However, the government only lasted for several months before it broke down, and already in the 2003 snap parliamentary elections, the Pim Fortuyn list lost over 2/3 of its seats, and it lost the remainder in the 2006 Dutch parliamentary elections. The late Prime Minister Kok was highly praised for his third way and Polder model philosophies and for the success of leading his purple coalitions. During his premiership, his cabinets were responsible for implementing several social reforms and privatization, further reducing the deficit. As a result of this, and because of his skills as a manager and negotiator, he obtained the status of a statesman by his fellow European leaders. He was in favor of a deeper European integration, and between 2006 and 2007 he served as a member of the Amato Group, a group of high-level European politicians unofficially working on rewriting the treaty establishing a constitution for Europe, meaning the European Union, into what became known as the Treaty of Lisbon, following its rejection by the French and Dutch voters. In 1965, he married Margarita Raukema, adopting her 2 children from a previous marriage, daughter Carla and son André. Together they had a third child, son Marcel.